Hi, this is Eternal King. So with the other champ reviews, I was doing those live. This one I'm doing a second take because I didn't fully understand the Titanic mechanic. So Titanic basically means that any creature that exists in the entire game, whether they be a champion or a follower, that is above 8 mana is considered a Titanic creature. So there isn't going to be a single card in Volibear's package that is a new Titanic card. It is instead synergizing with all the pre-existing Titanic cards. So talking about kind of good cards out of the Volibear package, first one that comes to mind is Stormbringer. 8 spell mana, deal 4 to all units. This card is amazing. This is everything that Buried in Ice wants to be for control, but is just better than Buried in Ice, and obviously it's way better than the Mega Avalanche, as our friend Trundle calls it. It's basically insane for a ramp deck. This is everything that ramp wants in a removal card. Buried in Ice is actually working better in aggressive decks. So you'll see things like Vi timelines, and they'll run Buried in Ice because like they just want to spam the board with big stuff and then swing for lethal. So like Buried in Ice is literally a better kind of beater card, or not an aggro deck, but it goes into like a mid-range Poro King style board spam deck, and then you just swing for lethal after you Buried in Ice. So like it was not a great control card. So I'm really happy to see that there's just like a big board clear button finally in Freljord, and you could argue that this is much worse than the ones available in Shadow Isles, but honestly Freljord will take it. Freljord will happily take an 8 mana kind of one-sided board clear. They will very happily take that 100% of the time, and they're very happy that it isn't Buried in Ice, because Buried in Ice is a slow control card. It's too much of a tempo loss. So yeah, very happy to see the Stormbringer. Other big card, and again we're gonna grab this one live. So what's the other control card that you need, in a control style deck? If you have the board clear, you need the Vengeance. Well, guess what? The one other auto include for a Volibear ramp deck is Seismic Shard. Seismic Shard is a 4 mana Vengeance. So you get that now, and I think you run Seismic Shard as a 3 of 100% of the time over Avalanche, because there's just going to be so many board clear style effects now that are better than Avalanche that you would rather run Seismic Shard, because it's the only 4 mana spell, or only spell really, in Freljord that can deal with big stuff, right? So very few things are going to survive 7 damage, especially when you're playing this for 4 mana. So very, very good card. Auto include as a 4 of. I'm actually, feeling pretty good about Volibear. Again, we can talk about how it's so much better to have these sort of on-curve cycling tools. I think the other 2 champions are going to be much stronger. I'm also going to auto print this one. These sort of Sigil of Storm cards, I think these are auto prints as well. Sigil Storms, if you don't know, is basically, like, oh wow, another ramp card. But, this is cycling ramp, which hasn't existed previously in Freljord, so this is very powerful. We talked about how powerful these sort of on-curve cycling champions are, and how they just blow out ramp decks, or, even though you've played bigger stuff, they're just so ahead in card advantage that it doesn't matter. At least now you can just kind of ramp in a less committal fashion, and Invocation does that at 3 mana, and for that reason it is likely going to be one of the best ramp cards for Freljord. It isn't true ramp, but even if you're just getting that Asol out faster, you're getting that Volibear out faster, I will take the non-true ramp that gets me a Volibear on 7, but also just cycles. It's such low commitment. Valier's Prophet, again, this is so much better than Warding Stone, it's not even funny. Warding Stone used to be 3 mana 0/3 ramp. This is a 2/3 ramp. 100% better. Also, the ramp is a landmark, which makes it kind of hard to interact with. You know, they've printed some new cheap landmark removal cards, but it's you know, landmarks are harder to remove than creatures. So in a way, this ramp is just more more reliable than what we've had in the past. So, you know, let's jump in and do a live deck build. And, you know, I really don't care about Janna. I really don't care about Nilla. I know what they're going to do, and I know they're going to be strong. So let's skip these two, and let's do the one that people aren't going to build first, which is Volibear. So let's jump in. New deck, and we're going to do an Eternal build with Volibear. Talking about what I think is already going to be strong. And it is going to be the old Freljord Trundle. It used to be Asol Trundle, and now I think it's Volibear Asol. So that's the way I'm going to build it. I will just send Stormbringer. I will just send... let's get out of standard, please. And I know Eternal's going to be a mess till Akshan gets re-nerfed, but whatever. If that hasn't happened already. Okay, so this is just these 4 cards is already a very pretty package. So let's start getting our ramp in. You 100% still run Faces of the Old One. Faces of the Old One is used to be the best ramp card in the game. If it isn't now, it's still close. 3 mana. I want to run the new ramp tools, so I'm going to key in Titanic, just so I can pull up the new ramp tools. And yeah, these ones. Auto includes cycling ramp. This guy. Very good cards. Old ramp. So talking about the old ramp cards that I still think are good and still get played, it is Wild Mysticism. Wild Mysticism is synergy ramp, so you get the mana crystal, and then this can be big. And I used to run Catalyst as a 3-of, but with these new tools, I think Catalyst is a cut. I will, however, run the other cycling ramp, which is, you know... Yeah, Catalyst is a cut now, so, but I still run Winter's Touch. Okay, that's good. That is very good. Over Tavern Keeper, I want the new cycling card, which again, yeah, I know. Complaining about cycling, but they printed cycling for everyone now. So we all get to enjoy a little bit of cycling because it's mandatory to play the game. And we want things to be as fair as possible. Scholarly Pioneer. Scholarly Pioneer is going to be better than Tavern Keeper in most cases. He has Challenger as a keyword, so you can drag things you don't want to deal with and put pressure on the opponent. I also really like the new Burst. Do you run Blue Sentinel? I don't think so if you're running Scholarly Pioneer. Blue Sentinels felt bad in the past. I think Valier's Prophet is just a better Blue Sentinel. Scholarly Pioneer is better. Yeah, this is all looking better than Blue Sentinel. Let's run the new Burst card. So basically they printed a better version of Here to Help. So I think that a better version of Here to Help is very good for Freljord, and that is Sky Splitter. I think Sky Splitter is good, especially in combination with things like Scholarly Pioneer. It's going to push Scholarly Pioneer to a 3/5. That's very good when you're dragging. So it's you're going to threaten to kill something. Like say you drag a 2/2 and your opponent tries to burst to save it, and then you make it a 3/5. Your opponent's going to have to burst again, and it's guaranteed that you're just going to get to drag it again next attack token. So far this is looking very strong. You 100% still run Feel the Rush. Just, you know, there's no reason not to. I think Feel the Rush is always going to be better than the new card, but of course the new card's in standard, Feel the Rush isn't, which is Clash of the Giants. Why would I want 2 random followers when I can just have 100% of the time Volibear and Asol, and they're probably going to be leveled most of the time, so Yeah, I'd rather just have Asol flipping and having Volibear on the board as a threat. And then, you know, it's very possible that you need more damage tools to level Volibear consistently. So I don't think there's going to be much aggro. But you know, we're looking a little light. We could probably, you know, Storm Raptor hasn't had a home yet, but maybe it has a home now. Because you can, you know, play it and ping things down and challenge. And it really is looking more like a control deck. Ramp decks have gotten, you know, Scholarly Pioneer, Crystalline Storm Raptor, into Stormbringer, into Volibear, Asol for the card, you know, getting your cards back. It is looking more like a control deck for sure. That's looking very nice. Yeah, it's looking pretty decent. And then you could even run, sometimes you like to run, I like to run the one She Who Wanders just because the Bale Sight's a pretty unique effect. Can win, just flat out win you some games. So that would look pretty decent to me as just like a starting package. And then I would play some games and figure out from there is, you know, maybe Storm Raptor's still bad, right? Maybe it's not good enough, but maybe it is good enough now that it's actually doing something with Volibear, right? You know, maybe this deck needs more AoE. It's very possible. I'll have to see on that. But, you know, I found Avalanche and even Blighted Ravine to be kind of bad now. Again, because everything that gets played cycles, and you're playing a card to remove things that are cycling, and you're not cycling, so it feels bad. Better to play this and at least have a 3-2 body out of it. But yeah, we'll try that, and I'll let you know how it goes. But this is kind of day one Volibear rundown. This is the last champ discussion, and I think this is the one's gonna be, you know, I'll enjoy it personally. This is Eternal King signing out.